Canis latrans change in home range through intraspecific playbacks to decrease conflicts? By Rebecca Winslow. A quick intro to Canis latrans, or the coyote, is that they are distributed widely across the North American continent, and that they are considered omnivorous because sometimes they will eat fruit or leaves, but they do mostly prey upon mice, rabbits, small mammals. Their social groups are very flexible. They can live as mated pairs, as they can live in solitude, or they can form small close-knit groups or family groups. I'm interested in the human-coyote conflicts that are occurring due to the increase of both populations, where residential meets wildland is where these occur the most, or in rural areas and that are also being used for livestock. In urban areas, coyotes are considered pests because they raid trash, they get into pet food, or they have been reported to prey on small pets. In rural areas, there's always that challenge of if you have smaller livestock, such as chickens or sheep, it's vulnerable to a coyote attack, and what is there for the farmers or ranchers to do to prevent the loss of livestock? Quick history about the control of coyote populations is they used to have lethal removal through mass hunting parties, or non-lethal removal using trapping and relocation. However, there was a research article that studied depredation simulations using strategic methods, and their results found that the coyotes that made it through those removal efforts, they actually flourished due to the lack of competition, repopulated very quickly, and made all those efforts null and void in the end. Scent marking was another article that I read and found interesting, because they were using marks to try and deter coyotes from specific areas, which is what my question is aiming for. However, instead of deterring them with scent markings, it actually attracted the coyotes, so it didn't work out, but it was helpful. And many vocalization studies have been done as well. These are important for my question too, because they carry a vast amount of evidence that coyotes respond to the use of playbacks, and that's a key part to my research proposal. And lastly, of decreasing human-coyote conflicts awareness, especially in people that live near or on the border of residential and wildland. If they know coyote behavior, if they know what they can do to prevent those interactions, it will further decrease the possibility of greater conflicts. Alright, so my research proposal, or the goal of my research, is to find a cost-effective and a cost-effective and just plain effective method to deter coyotes from whatever location necessary, such as somebody's house or their land for livestock. So then it makes a safer environment both for coyotes and for humans. Because populations are expanding in both species, there's an increase in possible interactions and possible conflicts, which isn't good for anybody. And also in relation to the rural areas and livestock, it's a regular battle. Not high up there, but it also is something to watch out for, a regular thing to watch out for. As I said, like the past efforts have either had little to no effect, with a lot of time and energy put in. So what I'd like to find is a effective first and then affordable second way to deter coyotes from areas. So my question is, will the use of playbacks deter coyotes from entering urban and rural areas used for livestock. I hypothesized that the home range of the test subject will change due to the playback. Hope I can cut this afterwards. My hypothesis is that the home range of the test subjects will change to avoid the auditory range of the playback that has been recorded from an unrecognized individual in both urban and rural locations. I predict that the coyote will be less deterred in rural locations since they only have the playback rather than the noise and light and cars of an urban area. Those are things that a wild animal generally tries to avoid. So those are further deterring the coyote from urban areas along with the playback, when in the rural areas it's just the playback. Alright, to research my question, I will need a total of 4 study locations, 2 urban locations, which are the red circles. All of these locations are completely separate from each other. The urban locations will be defined as coyote-human conflicts, and the rural locations, the blue circles, will be defined as coyote-livestock conflicts. The green circle is the 5th location where I will record the unknown individuals' playbacks and collect 2 to 4 recordings to use later in the study. Now here are the subjects at each location. There's 10 at each location for 40 subjects total. They will be males or females of mature age, and their movements will be recorded from August 1st to November 30th, when mating season is not a conflict and pup rearing season is not a conflict, because the pups are a little bit older and not as reliant on the parents. And lastly, from August 1st to September 30th, the location of each subject will be recorded every 2 hours, and then the minimum convex polygon method will be used to determine the home range of each subject. This will be completed on October 1st. On that same day, the playback will be placed and set up to play at the test locations. So I still have 2 control locations that are not being messed with and will be used to compare at the end of the project. Then we will continue from October 1st to November 30th to record their locations every 2 hours and redetermine their home ranges at the end of the trial. Once their initial home ranges are determined and their final home ranges are determined, after adding the playback, we will compare the ranges, which the next slide is what I tried to explain it through. In my paper, I explained that you would basically print out a map of each location, the initial home ranges and the final home ranges, lay them over each other using transparent paper to print them on, and visually, legitimately see the tool. That made a lot more sense to me. I tried to make it as simple in PowerPoint as I could. And here you can see that the controls should remain the same, theoretically. And then the initial, or before the playback was put in place, here are the home ranges on top. And then after the playback has been put in place for 2 months. The home ranges are predicted to have moved. And this is my research proposal. I hope y'all enjoyed it, and thank you.